What's going on, everybody? This is the Instagram Collectors Roundtable, hockey collectors, by the way, and this is episode 10. We've made it to double digits.
Wow.
It's Labor Day. We're all enjoying our day off, I hope. Got Kelvin and Tim here today. Nice to see you guys. Hope you're enjoying your day. Kelvin, did you do anything exciting with your day off?
No, nothing exciting. Just relaxing.
You had a very Peter from Office, Office Space Day, huh? That's what I call it. And then Tim, being in New York there, did you get out and enjoy the city at all or just chill?
I just chilled. For me, that's exciting.
Yep,
Nice.
I agree.
At this point, I'll
Nice.
take all the rest I can get.
Very good, man. Well, I did that yesterday. Yesterday was my chill and do nothing day. It felt great. Did go for a bike ride early, but that was it. So I spent the better part of the last 2 days, not today, but Sunday and Saturday, as you guys know, selling some stuff. So we thought we'd share some of our experiences over the last month or so, what it's been like for us selling in this market, which has changed. Obviously, inflation is a big deal. We're seeing it here where I live. I'm sure you all are seeing it where you live. You go to the grocery store and you buy your typical stuff for spaghetti and whatever else, and you're like, that seems a little bit more than it was. So I think I'm noticing that in the market. This is a buyer's market right now. It was a seller's market a year ago on this day. I think we would all agree on that. So just throw it to either of you guys. I mean, how do I frame this? Obviously with the market being different, but what has been, when did you see it turn? Would you say the beginning of the summer, the end of summer? Like when did you see okay, things are starting to taper off here a little bit?
I would say towards the beginning of the summer or the end of the season. Let's just put it like that for more general terms.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm looking back at in the past, since January around that time, prices were still pretty high from at least based on the players that I was collecting. So that's what I'm basing it off of. But for the most part, I would say that the market's sort of gone down since the beginning of the summer, which, you know what? That's always the case, regardless.
Right.
That's always the golden rule.
Yeah, I mean, Kelvin, we're seeing it kind of double dip, right? You've got the end of the season, which we know is great for us as buyers. We're like, yes, things are going to be cheaper. This is perfect, unless your guy wins the MVP or they win the cup, right? Because you're going to see a huge spike and it slowly tapers off. But you're also seeing, I think, people willing to spend less of the type of money they were spending a year ago. Are you kind of noticing that too in even Marty's market?
I think so. Yeah, I've seen the prices. Yeah, around summer, even for a retired guy, the prices are going down. I think people are being more smarter with their money. Maybe they're spending maybe the same amount, right? Or maybe some people are spending less because money's going elsewhere, for vacations or whatever the case is. And certain things are just going if it's cards that you see often, they're going for much lower. Rare stuff obviously is still going to be very competitive because they rarely pop up and everyone wants it. But for the most part, for decent stuff, there is a big drop. Even you see, I forget what their page is called. Is it the Hockey Gong Show?
Yeah.
They do some really cool graphs, and then they show some of the young guns dips from their peaks and their lowest. So yeah, you definitely see that.
Yeah, being a visual learner, I love that channel. So big shout out to. I want to make sure I want to pronounce it.
Hockey Card Gong Show, I think it was.
Hockey_cards_gong show. Yes, those guys are awesome. They have their own podcast as well, and we always love supporting other podcasts. We've talked about Sunrise Cardcast a lot on here, but they're very good as well. And data-driven information. I work in a data-driven type of system now as a teacher. We're all about data. I don't know about either of you guys in your jobs, but I'm going to assume that data has got to be a part of it. And I think if we can kind of relate it to the card market, it allows us to understand what's going on a bit better, especially with the visual side of things, man. I'm all about graphs. I can't wait to teach graphing, and they always make me wait till the end of the year. The curriculum, I'm like, just get to it already. But I think you bring up a couple of good points. It's kind of funny to see where people are being so much more careful, because I felt like even myself, I was building this furry club. I'm like, yep, I'll grab that, grab that, grab that, grab that. And even myself, I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding myself being just a little more picky. That is, unless you get into the group chat on Instagram that we're in, and everybody's like, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. I'm like, oh, great, here we go. It's funny enough, too, that Alex, he says this, which is, I think, very fitting. But that's because Alex only goes for the rare stuff. And I think, with all jokes aside, as Kelvin said, like, when you get to a certain rarity, those are always going to be strong, because look at all of our want lists, like especially Kelvin and Tim and myself, we want all these Panini cards from 10 years ago, and like when those show up, everybody is probably wanting them, not just us. People have them on their want list. People are like, I can't wait for this card to, like, tape to tape or something to show up. So, so that's quite interesting. And then Groatman, what did he have to say? He always has great things to add here. Yeah, well, and so Tim, what's up with the? I'm not a slab guy, but I'm noticing it too, just in general. Why do you think the slabs are even starting? Like, I was looking at Gretzky rookies, slab like a 6 or a 5. Like, why are we seeing such a, so quickly too? Because I feel like those would stay strong. Did they just peak way too fast, or what?
Well, I don't know what the pops are on the Gretzky 6s or mid-range grades. But I just think that something to what Kelvin was saying, that anything mid-range to low-range is going to be taking a dip regardless. And like Robman was saying, commodity cards, right? Cards that we can get at ease. Those are definitely going to start seeing drops. And we've been noticing that. And Hockey Card Gong Show has been giving us the data to sort of to prove that,
Right. Anything you've noticed, Kelvin, on your end? I mean, outside of the Marty market, any surprises too, like from a buying standpoint that you're seeing that you're like, that's a little off what I would think?
Maybe just like the commodity cards. I think those would, like, the prices for some like the bigger young guns. Like, I didn't think they would take that big of a dip. Like, seeing them, it was like, like was it the McDavid and the Crosby and like the Matthews? So I'm like, I didn't. Like, I know it's the off season, but I didn't expect them to be like dipping that low. That was surprising.
Kind of brings to light the what have you done for me lately? What do I have to be excited about? I mean, I was thinking about this as I was on my walk on Saturday. I was out for a long walk, gives me a chance to just kind of think and whatnot, and I was thinking, gosh, like when a team wins the cup, like I sold the Devin Tays Future Watch, and I think I paid like $5 for it, and I ended up selling it for like 40. I'm like, that is not a $40 card. Can we just be honest about that right now? But like, just the hype and just how much that drives the market right now.
Yes.
It seems like there is so many more people, like the shoe collectors, for instance, not that that's bad, but there's so much more hype driven buying going on now than there used to be. And so taking it into the selling aspect, Kelvin just got done selling a big portion of Pokemon cards to get, a dream card in his collection, which was worth it. # worth it, right? Tim and I are in the process of selling some of our collection. I'm really narrowing down, like Kelvin, more or less, to just Marc-Andre Fleury and then Tyler Glass now, because he's cheap. But that's it. Like Tebow, no more, no Cujo, nothing, because I can't afford to do it anymore. But selling has definitely been a bigger struggle now than it ever was for me over the last few years. So I just want to, throw it out to Tim first. You're trying to sell stuff. Why do you think, why do you think it's so much more challenging for us right now? Why are we getting so many people that are kind of hemming and hawing at buying stuff? I mean, is it the cards that we're trying to sell? Do you think those aren't as important, or is it more of just everybody's kind of just holding right now?
So there's definitely like a little bit of a holding pattern. We could call it that. But then in addition to that, also I think that people are just becoming more selective with their dollars, given at this point, and maybe we're just at the point where people are saying, let's wait until the season to get started, see what's what, see if the players that people want to get hot or speculate to get hot do so, and then they'll put their hard-earned money towards that player, things like that. Also, maybe just the grading frenzy being noticed, people taking more notice to condition, and
Right.
the cards are not to the proper condition that they feel is gradable, then maybe they'll hold back a little bit. So yeah, there's a lot of factors at play. You know.
Interesting. I know, Kelvin, you sold a lot of Pokemon cards, which is a market that we don't really dive into too much, but all of us know from when we were kids. We thought it was going to be done by the time we got older, and it is stronger than it's ever been, especially the older stuff. Did you find yourself, you've sold Pokemon and sold other cards in the past, did you find it any different now than it was before?
Pokemon was way easier to sell. I mean,
Was
maybe
it?
it's just because the cards I had.
Mhm.
They're not old. They're like 20. They're like in the 2010s,
Mhm.
like early to mid 2010s. But they're
Mhm.
like more of the rare cards. They're like what they're called full art cards. So like what you're used to,
Yeah.
just a usual holo. But then it's like this like it has like a full, like the whole card is like a Pokemon, and so
Mhm.
that I had these kind of cards. So then I had like the whole master set for a couple. Um,
Releases or sets.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I had them. It was almost done. And I offloaded it, but then it's from when I bought it, like it's just spiked. Like I kind of followed Pokemon during like COVID and all that, but not really. I was still out of it. I was more into
Mhm.
hockey, but just seeing that spike, I'm like, the cards I got for like $5 back then, now it's like 50, or some that are like
Mhm.
20, now they're like 100. I'm like, oh, and then people like really want them because for whatever reason, after a certain point, like these cards just never show up anymore, even though they're like printed like a good amount. Like if you compare it to like a card of this caliber to like a sports card equivalent.
Mhm.
It's, I don't know if people are just holding them or just people just kind of have them and they just forget them. But like, yeah, a lot of people are looking for them, and
Mhm.
for them, condition, I think they're way more pickier on condition.
Yes.
Way more pickier on condition. I don't not
Mhm.
there. I think people are split on grading there. Like there are people that do a lot of grading. I guess it's similar to hockey where a lot of people are still raw. A lot of people play the card game, and then there's people that like to just grade and then flip and do that. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's been easier. I'm going to sell hockey soon because the season's almost starting up, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll wait till then to make a good comparison between then.
All right. Yeah, that's quite interesting, But I also see what's really going to be cool for me too is I think like half of my 15 students are collectors of Pokemon cards. Like when I mentioned that I collected and that I knew about Pokemon cards, I mean, their eyes lit up. But I bring this up because I think the Pokemon card collecting side of things is a really great way to get parents and kids kind of involved in the hobby. It might be an easier intro than it would. Even hockey cards are expensive, like you can go and get a really cool Pokemon. I don't even know what those blasters or whatever they call them with like 5
Mhm.
6 packs and a nice foil trainer on it, like 50
Mhm.
60 bucks, and you get great cards out of it. You can play and
Mhm.
collect, you can do all this stuff. I think it's just an easier entry point into the hobby. And so I think,
Yep.
like Kelvin's saying, there's just so many more people looking for those cards, and then you have them in good condition, even easier to sell them. So
Yeah.
but I am, curious too, Tim, because you and I are in the midst of selling things. What has been like a surprise for you so far as compared to before? Because like for me, I would say, as I was telling Kelvin before we went live, the first 24 hours, I got no messages. I had stuff on eBay. I had stuff on Facebook marketplaces. I mean, or I had stuff everywhere, and
Mhm.
there just wasn't really any action. And I deduced that if it wasn't from extended or it wasn't a young gun from the last 1 or 2 or 3 years, that just people were just not, the majority of
Yeah.
collectors, younger collectors, new collectors, just are not looking for Magnon, Rayom, Cujo,
Mhm.
uh, Sebastian Aho, that kind of stuff. They're just not looking for them. So having to find collectors like Kelvin and you and me
Mhm.
who love certain players and want to collect them specifically, they are very few and far between as compared to before. So
Yep.
I don't know. Did you
No,
guys, do you notice that, Tim?
I absolutely do notice that, and I notice that even when I go to these card shows,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
the card shows are a great way to sort of gauge what sellers deem worth bringing to their tables and what they think buyers are buying, right?
Mhm.
So
Right.
whenever I go to these shows, a lot of the cards and showcases are within the most recent 2 to 3 years. Cards like, for example, you, me, Kelvin. So you do Marc Andre Fleury, rookie in 2003. Brodor 90s till, early 2010s. Myself, I do a lot of early 2000s and early 2010s guys. Those cards, for the most part, while they may produce, the players may produce, they're just not in the focus of the most recent years within the past 2 to 3 years. And I think
Right.
what people focus on more than anything, that's what's hot. And exact the term, what's hot, right? What's hot is the most recent 2 to 3 years, because we're still in the speculating phase. A rookie may be in the second year, have the sophomore slump, and then you're thinking in the third year he'll bounce back, things like that. So I just think it's cards that are produced within most recent years. Those are what's really getting the focus more so than what we as collectors, yourself, Kelvin, and I have.
Now, Kelvin, can I tie this into the expo? Because you are going again later this year.
Yep.
2 months, right? November?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
November,
But when you were at the expo in May or beginning of June, sorry, were you seeing that? Obviously, you're going to see tons of young guns, Kaprizov and Laffy, all the guys the last 2 years. But like even there, were you noticing just an overall lack of stuff that we collect in general? Or were you actually, that was all in like boxes and stuff, wasn't it?
So I guess for the majority of it, so the last expo, it was actually around the same time. I think it was like a couple weeks before that big Fleer Retro auction.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, so
That's right.
actually there was quite a bit of what we collect, like like PMG, JMLI, like all the shiny cards and all that stuff. So there were a lot of them there, but for the most part, yeah, like you see a large variety of future watches, cup RPAs, high grade young guns. I think that will. I mean, for most shows, I mean, even back in the day, it was always like that too, right? Those are kind of the most sought after cards. People want the true rookies. But yeah, it was a mix. I mean, that I think it was fine, but like maybe if you're talking about the one before, so like last November, I would say yeah, mostly, the commodity cards, it would be mostly, and then the cards that that we like, we have to dig up in boxes or
Yeah.
that one table that might have like the 2010s, all the Panini cards.
Yeah. And it just seems too like, in the 90s, the late 90s, even the 2000s, there was a decent amount of people doing the rookie card collecting. That was still a thing, obviously. But it seems like so many people are driven there. I mean, how many new Instagram accounts do you guys see that are recommended to you? And like there's 5 or 6 pictures, and it's like a cider rookie from Upper Deck of Young Guns, and you've got like a Black Diamond card. You've got like 4 or 5 of like all the same type of card from this year's releases, and it's all the same rookies and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but everybody in general just seems to be going down the investment path still, which is going to be one of my rapid fire questions for you guys, which would be a fun one to go through. But yeah, that was definitely I want to show some of Alex's comments. I'm not ignoring you, Alex. Yeah, and this is it right here, right? They're trying to get like, can I get the prospect? Can I get it right? Can I find the guy that's going to break out like Kaprizov before he's $200 or $100 for a young gun? When it's $5, which is a fun game to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm
still playing that game myself this year too.
I did notice that. I was like, hey, did you get Instagram collector roundtable shirts that we don't know about, or what's going on? What's going on here? And here, this is another good point here too. It's if like for instance a Flurry tape to tape, you're not going to find a comp for that because not one hasn't sold in like 5 years on eBay. I bought one, but nobody's going to have a record of that. Like it's not logged anywhere that I paid what I did. So a card like that, that's when you see those cards like $500 at a show. And I'm like, that's completely ridiculous. But then you think, well, what comp did he or she have to go off of? So it is a riskier card for sure. So I definitely, and then, yeah, Kyle. Hey, Kyle, this is Penguins Pirates. What's up, dude?
Exactly. I like Kyle says.
That's what I do too. Exactly.
And we were all talking about this in the group chat, Kyle. It's like we all have a very specific focus of what we're looking for. Now, Kelvin, especially, I don't want to say he's trimmed down his collection, but Kelvin, I've definitely noticed you're like the shinier the better, and like let's use the cards that are kind of on the fringes of being really cool to get the ones that are like, holy moly, look how amazing this card is. I mean, is that really where you feel like you're headed right now?
Yes, definitely. I don't know. It's just because it's hard for some of the cards like just never show up. Like there's so many like the select gold freezers. I've been looking at that for like almost like a decade now, right? It just I haven't seen a picture of it ever. There's not a single picture out there. So like I don't even know if I mean, it probably does exist, but like yeah, I don't know where it is.
I have to admit, I don't get very many opportunities to like, and none of us boast like to really boast. We might boast in the chat, but to actually have a card that Kelvin does not have is something that I only have for this little bit. And when he gets to the gold, I'm going to give him a high five, and that will be done. But it's amazing that you guys, like for your titanium, and Kelvin for all those panini, that run you put together, the rainbow, like. Some of those cards that you guys have dug up, it goes to show like the amount of work that all of us put into dig these up, and the connecting that you have to do. You have to connect with people and
100%.
get, because Kelvin's going to go out to the, to the expo here, and he might have just had a recent chat with somebody. He's like, oh yeah, that guy collects, this player. Boom, there's the card he's been looking for 3 years. You never know.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool to see that you guys have put those together for sure. We got some. Did you guys see this comment here? This was pretty good.
No, I saw it.
And then
sign the paperwork.
Yeah, there is Grope Man. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but you should definitely come look us up. We love connecting with people. Our Instagram handles are all on our names there. And yeah, that's one cool thing about Instagram. Some of the people we interact with, I feel like there's a really nice group of people that kind of are always connecting with each other, looking out for each other, checking our collections out. And it always makes it more enjoyable when that, yeah. Well, nobody in here is talking about UFC or wrestling cards. So sorry, no boasting for you today, pal. Dude, his collection is nuts too, by the way. Every time he posts a card, I'm like, where did he find that? But we thought we'd have some fun now that we've talked about selling, which it's been great when you do find those people who collect like we do to sell your cards too, because then you're like, oh yes, they're going to a really good home. I'm not going to see it on eBay in 2 weeks. We thought we'd do a little bit of rapid fire questions off the cuff here. And we talked about how much we enjoyed that last episode last week, and just kind of making us think on our feet. But we've all brought some questions with us. We came prepared. Tim and Kelvin did their homework, so I'm very proud of you guys for taking care of that. I'm sure some of my students will not have their homework tomorrow when I get to work. So I'll have to listen to all those excuses, and probably everybody's outside doing something fun. So it's all good. But yeah, Tim, do you want to start us off here? What's your first rapid fire question? I thought we'd take 60 seconds each to answer, and then if we want to have a discussion, we can do that.
Sure, I don't mind to go. So it's going to be hobby related by next summer. So question is, where does Bedard go? Connor Bedard, where does he go?
Team,
yes. What team does he get drafted by?
AKA, who's going to suck the most this year?
Yeah.
Well, you still have to win the lottery too. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think Phoenix is going to have the highest percentage.
Yes.
But then they also might be the most unlucky. And like some team, like the third worst at like a 3% might get them too, right?
Well, yeah. I want to say a sentimental thing. Like, as much as I want Seattle to be good for my dad, because he loves that team now, I would kind of appreciate them like not being good again, have Shane Wright come on strong at the end, but them somehow get the first pick and get Bedard with Shane Wright. Oh my gosh, dude, the town would go absolutely crazy for that. So that's going to be my sentimental pick.
Guys, this was not scripted. You guys chose my two answers. Well, I had my own answers. That was it. Seattle, Phoenix.
We all got to say another one though. Where else? What's that?
It could be Chicago
underdog,
too.
Could be Chicago.
Oh yeah. Oh, easy. I could see them being just as. Sorry, Logan, if you're watching. I could see them being as bad as Phoenix. I can, and I could see Patrick Kane getting traded before the end of the season too.
Oh, can you imagine? Like, what would be the most hard, like the jersey to see, or the team to that you can't really imagine Patrick Kane being on?
Flyers.
Oh my!
I can't
that's
stand them
right,
so
yes.
bad. Oh, that would
I
be
can't
awful.
even imagine that.
They might be pretty bad too. I mean, imagine them getting.
Yeah, I was gonna
Bedard.
pick them for the Bedard race too. They could
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Look at girl. I like. Hold on. I have to show that one.
Oh yes, please. I'm
Uh,
praying. I'm praying.
Yeah, and Kyle, I agree with you. I mean, I think Upper Deck. We've talked about Metal Universe, and if it does
Yeah.
come out at the end of the month, oh my gosh, it'll be like, we've got a fun plan for that. By the way, if it does get confirmed for the end of the month, but hopefully they keep pushing the boundaries with insert design. And then this isn't going to happen. It
Oh
can't.
my
They
gosh.
both have to get hurt.
Everyone would lose it if Oilers get it's like a 1% chance. They're like a 1% chance, and they roll it, dude. Everyone would go.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would lose it.
Dude, yeah, the whole city
Yeah.
would burn in like celebration.
Like, everyone else would be like, man, like Vancouver fans, Calgary
That's what I
Flames
was
would be
thinking.
like,
I do
they're gonna be like,
Vancouver, yeah.
yeah, they'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I would have said a couple others, but some like Ottawa's improved a ton. Like I know on paper they look like they should push that 8-7-6 spot in the playoffs. Who knows? But and also Columbus, I was like, they're gonna suck again. But they actually picked up a pretty good player there in the free agency. So
Good
it'll be interesting to see. Dude, that's going to be a fun line to see if a power play. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a good one. And then Elvis, I want to see if he does well this year. All right. Kelvin, you want to go next with your first question?
Yeah, mine was more your collection related. So this one is a bit tough. I know if you can't give me an answer right away, that's fine. All right. Now, if you had to offload your collection and you can only keep a single card, I'm only pick one single card. What would you keep?
Man. All right. I already know it.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I would choose my Zetterberg Premier RPA Gold out of 15. That was a card that was a white whale of mine for many, many, many years. The amount of just researching that I did every day and try to network and find it was so much. And then when I actually got it, it was a dream come true. I couldn't believe I had it in my hands. So if I'm choosing one, it had that one.
I got like 3 in my head, and I'm like, I would cry tears. I almost would rather just have them all leave. Yeah, because just because when I did this with A-Rod, I felt like I would keep my top 150 or 100 cards, and then I got it down to 100, then I got it down to 50, and then I got it down to nothing, because I was like, well, I want that flurry, and I want that flurry, and I want that flurry, and I can't have them unless I sell these. So, and when you have a willing buyer, it makes it so much easier to be like, okay, here, you can take these. But if I had to pick one, I'll play along. I know the card I would pick. I should have a picture of it. If I can't find a picture of it within the next 30 seconds, then I'm out. I'll just say what it is. But it's definitely got to be. There it is. You guys have seen this card many times, but there's so many things to like about it.
That's a good pick. That's a great pick.
It would be even higher of an easier yes if he had the playoff beard and the Stanley Cup logo on the jersey here. But I mean, the Crosby tribute, my favorite mask on card, the pit
that's an insane patch. It's like that's a good pick.
Second most expensive card I own, but worth every penny. And I think I told Kelvin when I got him, like, dude, no way it actually happened, because I'd send him so many offers and he kept just not answering, and then getting that message from him that said, sure, that sounds good. I'm like, no way. So cool story. That would be the card.
Yeah.
And then of course, I think a lot of people would probably say that, but that was a great question. I actually had something similar planned, but I'm like, nah, won't go that route.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go, I got so many I want to ask here, but I'm going to go with this one. We'll keep it positive here. Okay, let me go with this one instead. When you look at your collection, think of your collection right now. What percentage of your buying that you've been doing, especially since COVID, just throw a number out. What percentage of it has investing in mind? And how much, and what percentage is just because you love what you collect? Because when I buy cards, a lot, especially when Kelvin knows, we both own the cards, so we can both agree that was awesome in a way. when I bought the PMG and you end up buying the 101, how that or Tim, the most recent, like how about the Huberto? Is it the Huberto out of 2 or what car do you have?
The
Right?
Barkov
Barkov.
out of 2.
Yeah. So like think about those type of cars. Like when you're buying something of that caliber, is there any part of you that's like, I'm not going to have any trouble with this card if the day ever comes where it needs to go somewhere? Or are you just like doing what you have to do to get the card and that's the bottom? So like what percentage of what you're buying is investing? I love it. Yep. Girl, man. Bam. 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I for me, that was my initial answer, 0.
Yeah.
0. Yeah.
But if I'm gonna like be honest with myself, there were at least maybe I would say 10 cards and below, maybe even 5 and below that I've ever really bought within the past 2 to 3 years since COVID times that has investment on the mind. Like even the Barkov, while I probably won't have much trouble selling it in the future should that time arise, that was just purely for me. Like that was a pure PC purchase. The most recent ones I say I would purchase for investment was maybe like, and it wasn't even a good purchase for investment too, but it was my Jacob Trouba Prism Golds out of 10. They were just at a good price and I bought them. But even so, like there's still not much more meat on the bone at the price that I bought them. So it was just to have PMG. It was more impulse, right there. But for me, it's really, I like to buy with the mindset that I'm going to keep my cards. I can't say forever, but close to that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, very good. Kelvin, what about you, dude?
For me, it'll be 0. Like it's just I want the card. For everything Brodeur, yeah, it's pretty much 0.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a double, and it's at a good price. I think that's where I separate. Like if I buy Brodeur stuff that are doubles, it's not really investment, but like it's kind of like I'll use it as a trade for like other Brodeur collectors.
Exactly.
And then I have like a separate stuff like non-Brodeur stuff where I'm not really investing, but it's like I got them at a good price. And then, I'll just flip it to, whatever. And then I turn all that profit, obviously, into more Brodeurs. So it's just like, for me, that's my cycle.
And he's saying exactly what you're talking about. Kyle's saying the same thing, Kyle, if you end up with a Flurry or a Brodeur or a Datsuk, make sure you reach out, or Zetterbird, make sure you reach out to your boys here. We appreciate that. But no, he's exactly right. Kelvin's really been telling me about that. I'm not in a position to do that yet. But eventually, if I just narrow my focus to just Flurry, when those doubles come up and I'm like, you know what, that's actually a really good price compared to what I paid, I should grab that, hold on to it because I enjoy it. And then if it can help me get something I need down the road, then even better, then it pays off. But I would say with Glass now, I think it's more like 70-30 or 80-20, because there's going to be a chance when he comes back, maybe not this year, but next year when he wins a Cy Young, and it would be almost crazy to hold on to everything. But I also really like the guy and I love watching him pitch. So, but with Fleury, it's easily like 98%, maybe 2%, just so I can convince my parents when they see it. They're like, what the heck is all this? I'm like, don't worry, it's a safe investment. But it's probably 0. I love collecting Flurries just like you guys do with your players. So yeah, but I thought that would be a fun one to ask, because like when Kelvin goes to the card shows and he sees all these cards like way underpriced, I mean, he's not buying them because he enjoys them. He does, but like he's buying them to invest to help him get Brodeurs, so like it all depends on what you're buying, like everybody said. And then, Alex said the same thing. Can I just throw this real quick before we get to you, Tim? Real quick, like 30 seconds each. Think about the last 2 years since COVID, 3 years, whatever you want to call it. Have any of you made, yes or no, just made a bad purchase that you look at and you go, beep, that was a bad choice?
Oh, man.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Do you know the card? Do you know the card, Kelvin?
Yeah, I bought, well, not one card, but like a lot of cards. I bought a whole lot of SGA rookies. I forget how much I spent, like 100 and something bucks.
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for OKC. I bought a bunch of them. I was like, I like the dude. He's Canadian. I'm like, all right,
good player.
Yeah, good
just
player.
Bad team.
Bad team. Yeah. I just bought a bunch of them just like the dude. I'm like, oh, maybe this stuff will go up. But obviously, it's just like like hoops rookies or like Don. I don't know what I bought, but it's somewhere in there. But yeah, I spent a bit much on that.
Tim, yeah, can you think of a bad purchase you've made?
Man, so probably looking back on it now, I love Huberto, but ever since the trade, and I always say the golden rule: once a player gets traded in hockey, value goes down. So even though I love Huberto and I bought him and I love him and I want to keep as much as possible, there's just no denying that now we're going to see drops with that. So maybe my Huberto Prism goals that I bought for like $220, not the one Prism gold that we all know, but the select futures, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, like I bought at 220, and then immediately when I bought mine, a couple more popped up and it stood there for a long time. So like I would say some of my Huberto purchases in retrospect now may not look so well, but again, I love Huberto, so I'm gonna just keep on doing it.
Right. Well, and like Grotman says, I mean, he if he gets hot start of the year, you're going to look smart. So, and I'm going to echo Alex. I've told you guys this, my only horror story. I bought a Willie Mays Project 2020 for I'm not even going to say the amount because it'll piss me off. And by the time I got it and resold it, seeing the value drop, I'd lost like $400 something on it. So it was just a really, I bought it at the perfectly wrong time. And about a month before I sold the Ichiro, and I had like the Ichiro first card ever. So anyway, we won't get into that, but that's, I just had to ask. But honestly, with our PC guys, we've overpaid, but I don't look at any Fleury that I bought as a bad purchase because I love the card. Like, it's in my collection now. I'm good with it. So, all right. Tim, what's your next rapid fire for us, dude? What you got?
Sure. So for me, it would be, what subset or set would you like to come back, to have like a comeback?
I mean, it's so tough, right, Kelvin? Because like they've become subsets, but they used to be base sets. I know which ones you're gonna say.
Dude, I don't know what. That's a lot of options.
Flair Legacy. I'm gonna say it. Like done the right way, like Flair Legacy done like the 90s with the row 1, the row 2, the row 0, like done the right way.
Yes,
I would absolutely love it. Even if they tiered them just for modern purposes, like the row 2s out of 100, the row 1 out of 50, and the row 0 out of 25. That would be those would be fun to go for. That's my answer.
That's a good answer.
That is a great answer. Oh, I don't know what to pick. I mean, I was gonna pick one, but then I realized they're coming back with it this year. I was gonna pick Sparkling Diamonds, but they're coming back with it.
Kelvin
and Metal Universe.
That was my answer too.
They're coming back. Yeah, they're Metal Universe, but it's only rookies only, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I saw. So I'm like, well, for any rookie collectors, they like, you must be stoked, Tim. If you even have a shot at one of those, dude, you gotta go for it, man. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe Tim. I bet Kelvin, will you grab somebody just to see one in hand, like a cheaper rookie?
I actually really love. I probably will, but I actually really love last year's Metal Universe, the retro Star Rubies. They have like the wavy red version.
Yeah,
they look so nice. I saw one in person. I really want to pick up like, I don't know, one of the Robertsons because it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, what I'm most curious about seeing in person are what they replaced the Sparkling Diamonds as for the 1 of 1. They have a different name, like Sparkling or Star Diamond. I think it's the Star Diamond. And we were talking about, away from this podcast, but we were talking about that Timothy Lilligren PMG, right?
Yeah.
That I've been trying to buy on Facebook.
Yeah.
I recently just did a random search on eBay for Lilligren cards, and I saw that the Star Rubies, but the Sparkling Star, whatever, 1 of 1 of Lilligren just popped up or sold for $249, and I was like, man, that's a good price. And I know Lilligren is not going to be a great defenseman or like long-term investment or good PC guy to have, but for $250, I would have loved to see what that card looked like in person. That might have been the right price to see what that card will look like in person.
Right.
And
that's a tough thing to do as well, because like spending that money just to see what a card looks like most of everything I've sold the last 24 hours has been that, other than Aho. Like, this Magnon Rayom card, which I'm happy, like the person that's getting it has a young child. But this, I love this for like, what, 10 years? I remember seeing one. I'm like, that design's so sick. It's Panini, but
Her
I
autograph.
didn't. Oh yeah,
It's so nice.
beautiful.
It's so
beautiful.
clean.
But that those kind of cards, I was like, oh, I just want to see what one looks like. If it's not Flurry, I need to stop because I thought that was what Cujo would do for me. But then I realized, like, look at all my Cujos, and if I didn't have any, I'd have been able to buy a card that we're gonna hopefully see in a couple weeks on here. I would have just been able to get it. So it's hard to not be tempted. But thankfully, we can all live vicariously through each other. So if one of our buddies gets it, then you're like, oh, cool. Then I get to kind of see it in person in a way. So cool, great. Did you share what your set was, Tim? Did you say
sparkling diamond?
Right. This yes, I would love a goalie centered set. We don't have any more between the pipes. We need a goalie focused release.
It's funny that I said that because we were talking about that in the group chat before too, right? Like having a dedicated mask collection. But for me, it was between the pipes, not between the pipes, but the one that in the game did, where it had the shiny foil cards with just the mask on it.
Yeah,
could be that. Yeah.
I really do like that, and I would like to see on the back side or vice versa the person's face inside the mask with a nice close up. Like the Intimidation Nation was cool, but it's nicer to see it at kind of like an angle so you can get all the detail, especially like the Flurry mask that was half and half. You get him looking this way on one side of the card, on the back he's looking the other way, like just stuff like that. Man, if we were designers at Upper Deck, we'd have so much fun. All right, Kelvin, second question from you.
Yeah. So mine's similar to Tim, but mine would be, if money was not an issue, what set would you try to complete? What subset would you try and complete?
Oh man, Brady's gonna be feeling this question because I already know my answer. It would have been the Young Gun Acetates.
Oh,
yes,
nice. It's a good one.
Yeah, but specifically the SP Authentic ones. So I'm not talking clear cuts because sometimes it can be, intertwined. But yeah, SP Authentic.
Well, can we also say that like availability is not an issue, and like
availability is not an issue, money's not an issue.
It's like the set that I'm going to say, I just love the set, not only because of how unique they are, but knowing that Panini put out a video of how they're made. Like Ryan Kessler, they get his stick, they peel the tape off, they cut it, they put it in the card, then he has a video signing it, like tape to tape. Having the whole set of tape to tape from the year Flurries in it. And can you imagine like seeing that displayed with all the tape from a game you stick in their auto? Like, oh, so cool. It was either going to be that or the Arnold Hopefuls from Artifacts. I know that's like a reoccurring set, but man, I just love the way those look. We got some answers here. Groatman and Alex just coming through strong, keeping our chat going. Groatman says,
that's a
very good one.
Yeah. And is the 0910 version of that too?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
So nice. Thank God I had a chance at that. And then Alex, those are fun.
Yes,
that's a good one.
Yeah, we'll get the Crosby and the OV in there. Awesome. Great question. Great. Kelvin, what about yourself, man?
I think I would pick either the National Treasures Buried Treasures auto out of 10. I think that would be one of them. And then another one is 0708 OPG Premier Quad Remnants, and those are like the quad patches out of 20. I have two of them, and then I have two of them. It's just like, who do I have? I think I have like Heatley and like St. Louis, and then I'm like, let's check out the checklist, and it's like 60 or 70 players, and I'm like, okay, never mind.
Those are so nice. I think they look even nicer than they did them in what, 0910 or is it 0809?
They did them throughout the whole run, but I forget which one was the first year though.
You're right. I think it's 07, 08. Yeah, because Flurry was only in the 0910 version, I think. And those just look so nice. It's one of the best designs. And then we got one more. Alex also says, I would love to find a Flurry of that. Oh my gosh. Like just have it mislabeled and see the bazooka on the back. Oh man. Yeah, you're right. Yep. 0708. Good one. Okay. This is a fun question. I actually sprung this question when I was doing my interview series way back in the day. I brought on like 10 different collectors, and I threw this question at my buddy Tyler, who's a big Mark McGuire collector, and he was all out of sorts. He wasn't ready for it. He like had all his answers written down. But I said, so I want you to picture, you just meet up with a collector. You guys, good, kind of hit it off, good conversation. You have the chance to invite them over and see your collection. What impression do you want this person to leave with after they see your collection? Like, what do you want them to think or feel about your collection after they've seen it?
Sure. I already got it. That I want him to come away with that this was a passion of mine, that's a collection of passion more than anything. And it could also be a great escape from whatever it is that you want to escape from, just a daily grind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really fulfilling hobby. It's something that requires work, but the hard work pays off. And when it pays off, you get that enjoyment, gives you that, adrenaline rush and things like that. A lot of positives.
Awesome. How about you, Calvin?
I don't know if there's still like a negative connotation to cards, but I mean, if they were shown, I just like them to think, oh, cards are still cool. And there's just like a lot of variety, even though I just collect one person.
Well, I was going to joke and say they would leave going, man, look how shiny all those are. Like that would definitely.
You need to give them sunglasses.
Yeah.
Here, you need to put these on before you look at these cards.
Yeah.
I can warn you. Yeah, I think I've had a few people come over that don't collect, and seeing their reaction, especially with the display cases, I think those allow people to see them presented as art and how they're crafted, and not just like, oh, these are cards and I thought kids did this type deal, because the stigma is still kind of there, not as much at all anymore, but coming over and appreciating design and art behind the cards, and then also being like, okay, I can tell that this person cares more about this player than just being worth a lot of money, and leaving not knowing or not caring that they're worth what they are. And it's been cool because the people that come over, the last few, nobody's asked. Nobody said, how much did you pay for those? Nobody's said that. They've just been like, wow, that's cool, and that looks different, and that looks nice. So yeah, I think having them come over and appreciate the art of the cards is important to me. Yeah, and hopefully not get bored because it's all the same guy. At least he's on different jerseys, he's not just like Brodeur mainly, just one jersey most of the time. So anyways, yeah, that's, what do we get here? All right, first answer, best one. Nobody wanted it. Alex would have said that probably. Yeah. Alex, what does your wife think? Yep, but this, Kyle, I think that would definitely happen with all the Prism Golds and all the other cool stuff, man. Especially Kyle's collection is all that, those graded slabs, and he's got that PSA holder. So like having a collection presented in a certain way, I'm sure Tim and Kelvin, you would do that if you knew like you were going to be hosting some people to see a collection. You would have them all like set up and presented in a way that, rather than like, here, look at this box, in a way that people would be able to appreciate what they're looking at. Here we go. I'll read these. I want them to ignore my house smelling like cat pee and be impressed that I have some cards they've never seen or you don't see on eBay all the time. This is interesting. Yeah, I think it's stigma, and I can't handle hearing you paid that much for a piece of paper.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
It's card stock. Okay. Make sure you correct them. But I mean, that's the thing, though. I enjoy when I get that question, and I haven't got it from my parents yet, funny enough, but I'm sure I will at some point. But just like hearing that question, you have to be ready to say, well, let me explain to you why that is $300 and why that is $50 and why that's $500. Like being able to help somebody understand why. And if you can do that, then they, will hopefully be like, oh, cool, So I had a funny conversation with the guy today. He's like, yeah, I try to like tell my wife like this much of actually how much they are. I'm like, I can't imagine that. That would suck.
Gonna have to cook the books on that one.
I don't think we can be affording these. You're gonna need to sell some. Yeah. Oh geez. All right, Tim, you are next.
All right, let's see
what we
have. All right, so this, I mean, like, it can be hobby related, but will your team make the playoffs this year?
Yes. Yes, if Fleury stays healthy and Kaprizov stays healthy, among all the other pieces, and yeah, I think 4, 5, 6 is reasonable this year. So that's what I'll say.
I don't
How
really have a
about
team
Seattle?
anymore though. So, but like I guess I like the Wings and I like the Devils. So I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna go with no for both.
Yeah, for me, like they're both wild cards in the sense
Yeah.
of how much they progress,
Yeah.
and even the Devils. Like, I mean, me being from New York, I get to watch the Devils,
Hmm.
and it's like they're always teetering. Aside from that Taylor Hall MVP year and everything like that, they're always teetering where they seem like they're gonna put all the talent together, but then it just falls off throughout the middle of the season, and then they can't get back in it. You know?
Yep. Yeah, it'll be tough. I don't like. I think the Wings and the Devils actually are going to be like they're on the same path. Like they're scheduled like their path to like being like playoff contenders is the same. So like
Mhm.
2-3 years, like around there. So I mean, if all goes well, hopefully. But I don't see them. I mean, I hope at least we see progression in the players. Like if Luke Hughes is playing for the Devils
Oh, that
this
would be
year, I think he is. Actually, I didn't read up on it, but it'll be cool to see. Hopefully, Jack doesn't get injured this year.
yeah.
Mackenzie Blackwood, you got to have him stay
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, any Devils goaltender, please just stay healthy, dude, because they were in quite the run. Like,
Right?
yeah,
It was neat to see John Gillies and Akira Schmid and these other guys
sure.
have the was it who was the other guy? There was another guy that played a bit for them.
Yeah, I forget his name.
But he finally got his opportunity. Like it's kind of cool as a goaltender fan to see those guys get their chance, But I think either of those teams, if other teams have injuries or fall off or something, either of those teams could sneak in that 8 spot. Like you never know with those young teams, man, because they could just kind of peter out at the end of the year, be whipping boys for the other teams that are getting in, or they could, they're healthy and they peak at the right time. So they shouldn't, but they could, I guess is what we're saying. And this answer, I have to show this. This is a good one. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
And
with
then-
the Panthers.
Right. Yeah, they're going to be strong again for sure. They always are. And then, yeah, geez, the Leafs. Gosh, being a Leafs fan. Hey, Name, you made it. Good to see you, man. Hope you had a good day off with the fam.
Ooh, beach.
Nice to see you. Name, we're doing a rapid fire, and the question was, will your team make the playoffs this year? And I don't know what team you go for. I know he's a big player collector like us with all the Indigenous players. I'm guessing probably those, Oilers, Vegas. Well, used to be Vegas more. Now I think he's yeah, Brady. You're right. Yeah, and that's having a strong defense can take good defense. They got good goaltending. I love Mackenzie Blackwood. He just cannot stay healthy, man. And maybe it's the beard. His hair and his beard get too long, get in the way, and gets hurt. Okay, cool. Good question. What about you, Kelvin? What you got next for us?
So my question, so this card doesn't have to be hockey. It could be any other sport or non-sport. What's like a big card you want to grab that's out of your PC or out of your scope of collecting? So for you it would be non-Flurrier, and for me like a non-Bruder, and then whatever Tim doesn't collect.
Oh boy, yeah, that's tough for me. Oh, well, okay, I got it. I got one.
Go ahead.
So for me, it would actually be a Pokemon card. I'll never put a Charizard first edition Shadowless. That's so far out of my scope, my range.
That's a
Listen, out of all the packs I opened from a young child to an adult, I never pulled a Charizard. Like, it just give me any old Charizard, not promo. So it can't be one of those like you buy a box and then it's a promo, a holo, whatever. I want to pull one. But for me, out of my range, out of my scope, would just be the base set Shadowless Charizard holo. Yeah.
So it has to be out of our range, right? Like a card I would like to have, but I probably never will have, right? Was that the stipulation?
Well, yeah, it's like a non-PC guy. So like anything that's it could be out of the scope, and it could be just not within your like collecting.
Well, it's funny because there's a card I've wanted for a while. That's well, he's about to be a non-PC guy when he's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say what it is because people be like, I know, I want that card too. But it's up on eBay right now, and I've had it on a safe search for years. And I'm like, that's actually affordable. But I'll go with one out of, to stay in the goalie realm. I mean, obviously, I'm not a huge vintage guy. I owned a Patrick Waugh Opeachy Raw, which was a really funny to just see that card. I remember how iconic that card was, yeah, so that would have been like a PSA 8 of that would be really cool, or like a 9 even. Like to see an Opeachy 9 of that Waugh card, like it's such an iconic card for a goalie fan. I remember it growing up, so I'll probably say that. I can't really. Does it count if Fleury's on the card, but the other two guys aren't? I'm just kidding. Calvin knows what card. That super cool cardboard has it. Fleury's on there with two other of the greats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That card. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that would be a dream come true to own that card for sure. But yeah, that's definitely on there. Great question, man. What about you, Calvin? When you came up with this question, what did you think of?
I actually thought about baseball. I really want a Ohtani autograph.
That would be cool.
Ideally, I mean, obviously rookie year is like out of the question, but I mean, I would like. I mean, he's kind of reduced his autograph to like now. It kind of looks like he wrote like a 3 and then like a 3 under it. So like he's gotten. He's lowered his the quality.
He signed so much.
Yeah, they probably signed a ton. So, like I don't blame them. Like Trout's is like, it's the quality. Like I don't blame them because they probably signed like. I mean, for a star like him too, like he signed a ton. But like, yeah, any Ohtani autograph with like a decently full autograph would be great.
Yeah, some of his earlier stuff would be really nice, especially like a rookie year. That would be sweet, dude. Okay, I have 2 more left, and I'm trying to decide which one. Let's do this one for fun here. I can put what Alex said on here. Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of that, and I'm glad that he got an Asian hockey card collector. You guys know him, super cool dude. I had it saved as a search, and I'm only saying this because I'm so glad to see him get it. Is it Fuki Fuji? Did I say that correctly? The goaltender for the Kings. That's Japanese.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He has an SP of Between the Pipes auto. It's a sticker, but it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting it. I was so stoked for him because that would be another card I would have said, like having that card. It's such a significant card for an Asian goaltender to not only make it to the NHL, but he was a pretty good player, and I think he's still playing, isn't he?
He's playing overseas. Yeah. He's I think he was on like the national team a couple of years ago. I don't know if he's still playing like right up to this day, but he was playing at least within the past like 3-4 years.
The last Winter Olympics, he was still playing. That was so cool, and to see in his autograph filled the whole sticker. And you remember those Between the Pipe stickers were actually pretty big. Those in the game ones, so a lot of them. All right, let's take it to tops. Let's think about tops for a minute here. My question is, if you could bring back 3, and I'm talking about like full-on releases, not like just a subset, but like a full-on tops release, and I want you to think about current tops products, because they're not just going to go back and pull out something that like Bowman Stars or something that was a one-off or whatever. But like, if you could bring back 3 tops, if tops could just get into hockey and do 3 releases a year, what I don't want to say sets, but like what product would you like to see them bring back? What
That's
3?
Easy. That's easy for me.
All right, go ahead.
Stadium Club Chrome, Finest.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Pristine.
Yeah.
Stadium Club Chrome. And Finest.
Okay.
For me, it would be Topps Heritage. That's one of my favorite sets of all time for baseball.
Okay.
It would be Topps Finest, and then Gold Label.
Ooh, Gold Label is a good one.
And they could definitely do it. This is a tough one. Pristine is mine. That was my first choice. I was thinking about they could bring it back the way they did it. Finest flashbacks, the way that baseball is doing it. I would love to see hockey. Well, it's tough because they only did it. They didn't do a lot of Finest.
Yeah.
But they could, eventually bring in the old baseball designs and work their way in. So Finest with Finest flashbacks maybe as an insert. How about that? Or something. And then, Stadium Club or Stadium Club Chrome, because the photography would be amazing with hockey right now. Oh my gosh. like the goalie shots would be so sick. You know, the Fleury diving save would definitely be on one of his cards. Like the fact that they never put that on a card still blows my mind. But, you know, think of some of your favorite moments that your players have had. You know, Marty would get, you know, the arms above the head or like a really cool shot from behind the net or above him or something. Yeah, that would be sick. So anyway, I felt like that would be a fun one just to think about, not just the like the base set, but the inserts and the parallels. It would be fun to chase those down.
Speaking of photography, real quick, Matt,
Yes.
since you're a goalie guy, do you know if they made a card of Vasilevsky doing that behind the back save with the glove? That would have made a really cool card.
Most of his cards, I'll pretend this is Mac, look like this.
Yeah, his
Most
eyes
of
are
his
always.
Yeah. They really do. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like that Intimidation Nation card.
Yeah, that
like
one.
that's the best card
Yeah.
because his eyes are like
Yeah.
looking in, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. And that's something you would think would make it on like canvas next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Canvas is good photography, but like
It
I
does.
love the Bo Bichette, the
Oh.
SP from Stadium Club. That is such a good shot.
Such a
Ryu
nice
actually
card.
had one too. I think the following year, as an SP base. I was like, man, that's such a nice shot. Like if you had those in hockey, it would be so
Right.
beautiful.
I agree. And yeah, Grotman, you in the chat, you're correct. Yeah, that's the card. Yeah, I'm just, it's so tough for us to always think, because we talked about the what ifs, right? If Topps, if Panini, we just know that if those companies, obviously, you know, they're not going to be around much longer. At least, well, they will, but maybe in a different capacity. When they do stuff, they just come out with all these releases, and you know, great fun for people that love that stuff. But geez Louise, like just do a couple of hockey, please. Just like give them a contract for 3 each. Having Panini and Topps and Upper Deck all making cards at the same time, you know, Upper Deck, even though the designs are great, will just kill it, because they'd have to go that step above, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I've got one more. Does everybody have one more, or is that it?
I mean, I could think of one more.
I could probably think of one more.
Okay, Tim, you wanna throw one more out, and then we'll move into the
And
closing?
like, you guys have been doing a lot of card related stuff. I've been doing a lot of league related stuff.
I like it.
Taking out McDavid as the main point getter, who will come in number 2 for the most points throughout the season?
Can we say number 2B after Draisaitl?
Right, true. I was
Probably
thinking the
gonna
same thing too, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's probably gonna say Matthews, right, Kelvin?
I don't think I'd pick
Maybe
Matthews.
goal scoring.
Maybe for goal score, yeah, but like for points, yeah, I don't think he would be number 2.
Huberdeau has a good shot, right, with all of his assists, and if he scores
It's a
more
new
goals.
team. I don't know. It's a new team for him. Yeah.
Sittler being the head coach of the Flames, though, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kaprizov. How about that? I know I'm biased. I know I'm biased, but the line that he plays on, they play so well together. He and Zuccarello and Hartman, those three, they pass the puck so well. I could see him going up in the top 5 even this year in scoring. And yeah, hey, you stole my answer, dude. Of course. And then here's another good one. I mean,
I was gonna pick that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it a couple years ago, right?
Form.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he plays, yeah. And then I would love to see McKinnon break the 100-point mark.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I would like to see that.
Honest, like there's few players that when I watch play, like they really, my jaw's on the floor. Or for one, and Colorado has 2 of them, McCarr, McKinnon. Just watching them play, my goodness, the things that they do, the speed and the force that McKinnon has.
Dude, he's scary. I would not want to be a defenseman in front of that.
For real, yeah.
Actually, that's just scary.
He is so much faster, in that little percentage. I mean, as a guy who just really passionately started watching hockey 2 years ago, I was like, oh, Colorado is playing, against Vegas. This will be fun. I'm like, whoever that guy is, obviously it was McKinnon. Like, he just moves that much faster than everyone. And then, McCarr put that goal of the year on Fleury, and I was like, that guy is on a new level. Like, he's on a new level beyond any other player on defense, because he's an offensive player playing defense. It's and I didn't know that he got into the top 5. He must have passed somebody at the end there. I thought he was lower than that, but yeah, McKinnon, I could see him leading the league. That's a good pick. That would be fun to see. Huh. Good question. Kelvin, what about you? Got one more?
All right. What 90 set would you like to see come back?
90 set. Okay, I already said Filet Legacy, so I can't say that.
You pick set or subset, I guess. Whatever
Alright.
whatever you want to see come back.
I got it. Hot gloves. Hot gloves. Like done really well. Like goalie hot gloves done like really cool etching, die cut, foil, whatever you want, but hot gloves. That's my choice.
So I was busy reading Grobman's comment, and I completely did not hear what Kelvin asked.
Oh,
That's my
what
bad,
was
dude.
it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Because he did bring up a good point in Barkov being a potential top point getter. But what was the question, Kelvin?
Mine was, what 90 set would you like to bring back? And that could be set or subset, whatever you choose.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Going back.
Here's what Kyle said while you're thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sucks that they messed up the 14-15 one.
Okay, I know mine. Prismatic. So is the Be a Player's signature series prismatic autos? I think those are out of 50. I have
familiar with those.
Patrick Elias from, I think it was 97, 98. I even owned the Slava Kozlov at one point.
Okay.
Mhm.
Or Be a Player prismatic.
Yeah,
Oh wait. The ones with the die cut that
exactly.
right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yeah, those are awesome. Those are gorgeous cards. Yeah, I love that choice. That would be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are sick. The those are out of 100, I believe, right? And then the silvers and then the base.
Those.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good choice right down here. Yep. Obviously everybody
That was gonna be my answer. It was gonna be specifically be the Bowman's Best image. What do they call it? Image fusion? When they had like the puzzle piece looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fusion atomics and fusion refractors. Yeah.
Dude, they're so nice. They're like, I don't even know if they exist. Like, I haven't seen one in so long. Like, it's been a
Alex,
while.
I was thinking about that too. That I was bouncing it back and forth between what Alex just said and the
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how like it comes already not laminated, but just already comes sort of like encased and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the way they came in is so cool. Like I opened a box like years ago when I got it from the expo. It was like you get a whole case, you get a whole box of it. I forgot how many tins. You get a lot, like
24 tins or something like that.
24 tins.
36.
Yeah, it's a huge box. I carried it, and I bought it for like $30. It's just fun opening because then you have each tin, you crack it open.
Yeah.
And the base cards are like just so nice, right? Having the silver and the gold, and yeah, just super fun set.
All right, so this is a perfect question to end this whole rapid fire off with. This has been really fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Simple question: what do you guys love the most about your collection as a whole? Like, what do you love about it?
Mm-hmm. For me, it's the longevity. Just how long I've been collecting my, like for example, Zetterberg is really my main guy. You see me focusing on Datsuk because that's what I have less of, but Zetterberg has been since like day one. And it's just the longevity. I can go back to one of my first cards being from like 2003 or 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my first eBay purchases was of Zetterberg, like a 2003-04 SB Authentic Sign of the Times, or from a Tough Stuff magazine that I got from my LCS back in like 2004-05 of the promo of 2004-05 base set.
That's cool.
You know, so like it's just I've been at it for so long. That's what I love about it. It's just really been a long grind, but a grind of passion.
Awesome, love it. What about you, Kelvin?
For my collection, since coming back a couple years ago, I liked the progression I've made of adding like some of these top wanted cards I want for like a long time. So it's just really fun. Like these cards, I wanted these for so long. Some 10 plus years and didn't know they even existed, or like, for whatever case I couldn't afford them. But then now, just be able to add like a lot of these cards, it's just nice to have these in my possession.
Kelvin, do you feel like, sorry, two-part question here, or this is my second part. Do you feel like collecting is this is the most enjoyable time you've had in the hobby as compared to when before you got back into it?
Oh yeah. Because I was like a recluse when I was collecting. I was just to myself. I lurk on the forums. I didn't really communicate with anyone. It was just me and the cards, which I mean I still kind of hold that. Like for me, it's just like I just like goal driven, I guess. Like I want to get these cards on my list, but like having these connections now, people know I collect Brodeur. Just talking about cards, sharing the sets that we love and all this stuff, and having eyes too. Like me and Tim have been linking each other's stuff. Mickey, this past week we've been linking each other on a lot of stuff, so it's been fun.
That's because Tim's buying everything, man. He says Zetterberg's his main PC. I haven't seen a Zetterberg mentioned in the group chat in like a month, dude. It's like, what about that card? And what about this random guy?
It's all the remaining cards are with one collector who has the best Zetterberg collection in the world, and it's he's not letting anything go. Until he lets it go, that's it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and I do have a story about this guy too. A good, decent story. Nothing negative, but we'll save it for another episode.
Okay, good. We can definitely make a topic out of that because I think we're all really good about not having envy because let's be honest, there's always going to be somebody that has more because if we had the money to have everything, maybe we wouldn't feel the way we do about our collections. We'd all probably be like, yeah, these are great. This is nice. I don't think we would appreciate it at the level that we do because we have to be selective with what we buy still or trade for or whatever. We can't just be like, oh, there's a flurry. It's overpriced, whatever, click, like it just would be so much less enjoyable. Yeah, geez, I think just about the cards themselves, what I love about it is the variety. You know what I mean? You can, if you came and look at the Flurry collection, you look at a binder of all stuff that I could afford if I was a kid. And then you can look through the boxes and see a lot of real cool, shiny and rare cards. And then you can see the display case that's got the really, spectacular ones in it. Just variety. That's what I like the most about my collection, that it's well-rounded. And I don't want to lose appreciation for the little stuff, because that's what all of us had. That's all we could have when we were really young. So I would say that would be it. Cool. Well, that was fun. I quite enjoyed that. I want to throw these two up here. Yeah. Even if some rich guy with a ton of money wanted to make the cards just aren't readily available. Yeah. All our collections are unique to each other specific. No Brodeur collector is going to have the shiny cards that Kelvin does, the amount of them, and nobody's going to have the specific cards that you, especially with the titanium cards, Tim. In my opinion, my favorite thing about your collection is that. And nobody's going to have a Flurry display that looks like that. I can guarantee that right now that nobody has that.
You're the only one in the world, especially with the art pieces.
Right.
100%.
But I think we all appreciate that, right? I think we can all appreciate the uniqueness of our collections. Everybody that's listening, everybody out there, like if you're collecting the willy-nilly and kind of like, young gun here, not to say it's bad, because it's not, because it's fun. A lot of people have that, and I think there's a point where we all come to think like, I want mine to be unique and special to me. And that's what we've all accomplished so far, which has been great. And then Alex said, dude, there's no way. I mean, I joke all the time. If anybody wants to walk up to my door with a cool $500,000, knock on the door and say, this is for your Flurry cards, I'd be like, okay, take them, but like, that's never going to happen. Like, and $500,000 is probably not going to change the course of my life in any significant way. So even at that point, I would miss the cards.
I'll take them for you.
I mean, it will, but at the same time, I'm going to come back to wanting to buy cards. I had a friend named Andy, or I have a friend named Andy, who was a big Ripken guy, like had, I think 3,200 unique, and he just sold the whole thing. And he like moved out of town, moved to a different house, sold his house that he built by himself and had all this excess cash, not 500,000, but like a lot. And he just bought up anything and everything, just clicked buy now. And he didn't enjoy himself. So I don't know if I would really appreciate having all that money to just spend it again, but cool. Well, I thought it would be fun to wrap up the episode with something exciting that's come in recently that maybe you want to tell a little story about, talk about why you like it so much. Either of you guys want to go first?
Sure. I got my cards readily available.
Oh, you go first then.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
So like I mentioned on the last episode, buying has been light, which is good for me. I'll take that. And I'm also learning about my lighting situation, so I'm going to see if this would help a little bit with the glare. But oh my gosh.
try the light. Try the light again. Try the light
Oh,
again. It'll work.
boy.
There's no perfect way. The cases just are gonna have reflection off of them. You almost have to take it all the way out, but then
You know what? And we will do that.
please God, don't let him ruin the card. I'm gonna feel guilty for the rest of my life.
All right.
Oh, that looks
So
awesome.
What I have over here is just my dad's soup jersey numbered. Well, wait, did I include this on the last episode? Am I having my old senior
I know you
moment?
talked about it in the chat.
After post
yeah,
show. We talked about it post show. Yeah. I was
Okay,
after
got
the
it,
show.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have my Datsu jersey numbered rookie, 13 out of, what is it, 414. So I mean, he's wearing number 56 on the card itself, but for me, we all know him as wearing number 13. So for me, that's what I'll take. I'll take what I can get. So I managed to get that. My Datsu pickups are few and far between. Brady's buying them all up. But following the theme of jersey number, one card that I really enjoyed, and we also talked about in the group chat and whatnot, is my Mort Sider jersey numbered rookie. Where are we over here? Yep.
Nice.
So it's 53 out of, let's see, 299.
Those are so beautiful. Those exquisite cards. I love the look of them.
These exquisite cards. I love the font where it says rookie. I just love it. Everything about it, you know, and especially because this was my first jersey numbered rookie of Cider, and probably will be one of maybe 5 that it seems like I can afford. But yeah, those were the 2 ones that stood out to me as far as the pickups that I've gotten.
Awesome. Well, and that's great too, because as you said, buying's been, I think for all of us, I would agree, like maybe trading's been a little bit better for Kelvin, but we haven't been getting a lot in. And so I think when those cards do come in, especially for Kelvin, when he goes across the border and comes back and it's Christmas Day 12 times a year. But I mean, you have to admit, right, Kelvin, like it does give it that little more pizzazz, more excitement when those cards do come in. It's not like you're just having a steady, like, okay, here's another one, here's another one. It's like, oh, a card's coming today. Like pretty special. What do you got for us, Kelvin?
So I did go to the States recently. When did I go? Saturday? I went Saturday.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah, so I have these cool. This is my first few Pacific printing plates. They're pretty cool. I forget what year this is from, but I know the subset. But it's free. It's called Freeze Frame. It's a pretty cool insert. And then I have 2 of them. Got these for like $10, $15. So that they're cool. And then I think these are from Heads Up. I think. So I got 2 of those. So
awesome.
Wait, can you turn those around for a second?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, they have like the stamp.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was worried it was that one.
Yeah. That's the first thing I checked. I was like, please have the stamp.
I got hosed on a couple. I mean, I still love
from
them,
that guy.
They're not the actual plates.
I mean, I don't know who the guy is, and I don't want to call out any sellers, but I have to tell the funny story. He had a Tebow one up, and I was like, looked at the back, doesn't say Pacific. So I emailed him or messaged him and said, hey, did you acquire these from like a sell from Pacific? You know, all this. And he's like, he didn't give me much of a straight answer. And I said, well, I just want to let you know that I just recently talked to Mike Kramer, and he said that the only way those got out, the ones Kelvin has, came in that full, you'd get the full like fold out thing, right? Then it would have the Pacific card in there and all the rest of the printing plates.
I have one of those.
You do? Okay. Yeah. So he messaged me back and goes, who the heck is Mike Kramer? I was
wow.
Man, you are definitely full of crap. Like, I was like, you were, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it, whatever. But I just told people that had asked, like, are those real? I'm like, just don't buy them. Like, they're not. Sadly, it's cool, but they're not real. So, anyway, but that was quite funny. Who the heck is Mike Kramer? Well, I mean, he's kind of guy that made the Pacific.
Important person.
Yeah. Anyways, cool. Well, those are awesome, Kelvin. The fact that you got them for so cheap, I mean, that I think that's a complete steal because, I mean, to have those be legit printing plates from Pacific, I mean, those carry a lot of sentimental value to me as well. So that's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to use the scan for my two because they're tucked away in the box right now. I scanned them and put them on the website and all that stuff. So I'll just share my pictures that I got. But this was a fun one. This one had a lot of excitement behind it because I won this during the show last Friday, and I was very nervous. And yeah, you saw me do like a little celebration in the middle of the episode because this ended. I think we were about 3/4 in. And I got it for like $35, and it's just I still can't believe it because it's out of 5. But you can see like in that scan, and I really spruced it up to bring the green out. When I scanned it in, it was basically dark with Fleury sitting there, and the scan in the auction was not very good to show that off. But I made sure to reach out to the seller and say, "Dude, thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy to get this card." So all I'm missing now. Were there 1-on-1s too from this, Kelvin? I assume.
Yes, it's this card except the mirror. It's a mirror green. It's the 1-on-1.
And that's in Kendall's collection, so I won't be getting that. But the one I would love to see, of course, is the mirror gold out of 5. That would be cool. I'll just share one more that I was quite happy about, and one that even Billy Celio from Upper Deck commented on, which is great. I was really happy to get the high gloss. Just nice. Yeah, just because it's his only Blackhawks high gloss that he'll ever have. Because I can tell because of an MVP's coming out, he's in a Minnesota. It's listed as Minnesota Wild, so this will be his only Blackhawks high gloss card that ever gets made. And so, yeah, it was a bit more expensive than I typically can get them for, but he was in this mask too, which added a little bit more for me. I love the feather mask. I know Name loves it too, just with the the inspiration behind the design. But it's just an amazing setup. Y'all admit. I mean, they sucked last year, but what's that?
I love the pads.
Oh yeah, the pads are sick.
Yeah. His setups are always great, and I do want to share on here. I don't know how many people care about this, but I sent a quick message to Fleury's mask designer, and you guys know this already. I sent it to you. I said, hey. Are you making him a new mask this year? Because the Beast mask from last year was brand new. I mean, he only wore it probably for 15 games or so. He said, well, not only am I making him one, I'm doing 3 masks for Marc-Andre Fleury. And I was like, oh, yes. Like this is perfect for me because I love that stuff. So, yeah, pretty excited to get those 2 in. I was going to ask you guys before we go, for anybody that's from Tim's in the U.S. here, obviously, but it's been taking a long time to get non-track stuff from the U.S. to me, like way longer than usual.
What time frame are we talking here?
What's that?
What's the time frame that getting on average?
Usually before 2 months ago, I was getting them within 2 weeks, easy. The old either the stamps would obviously take a bit longer, but the old printed at the post office $3.19, whatever. Yeah. I was getting those within 2 weeks, and I would get some pretty nice cards sent that way. But I had the gold retail titanium gold out of 10 just get lost, never showed up. It's been like 3 months. And I have others from Extended that are on the way, and an autograph from Upper Deck that I bought from Kirby Mallet on Facebook. And he even had it returned to him once and had to resend it. But I asked him about that, and he mentioned that there's been a shortage in postal workers in Canada. So he's thinking that has something to do with it. But I'm just noticing it's taking a long time, like a month or more to get stuff. Are you noticing that, Tim?
For me, I've been getting my stuff on average of 2 to 3 weeks as far as from Canada is concerned.
Yeah.
So maybe it's because, we're on the opposite coast and we have different paths that our cards have to get through. But as far as me, I've been getting mine in within 2 to 3 weeks. More so.
Okay.
2 weeks, though.
Well, and you're sitting in that spot too, because a lot of my tracked Canada mail goes to New York and then comes all the way over to the West Coast and up to me. So you're in a hub in essence. So
yeah.
And this is interesting. And that's a tracked shipment too, Alex. That's really strange. Those usually move. Kelvin, I mean, you're almost in both Canada and the US practically, but are you even Canada to Canada? Are you seeing it slower than usual, or is it just like that's how it always is?
Usually it's fine. Usually it's like a week. For me, it's a week for Canada to Canada or US to US. I've been shipping stuff from Canada to the US, but it doesn't take that long. Like Yeah, Steve grew up in comedy. Yeah, from
Yeah,
it's fairly cool. Like, yeah, I think Chicago's a hub too. But I've been
it is.
shipping everywhere. I think like Illinois, Texas, a bunch, Minnesota, I think, and everyone's been getting their cards within like the 2 week mark, 1 to 2 week mark.
Well, and then obviously being in Alaska is that extra little, takes a little bit extra because it's got to hit Chicago or New York, whether it's tracked or not, and then go to like San Francisco and then come up to Washington and then get to me. But I've had 3 cards completely disappear this year, and especially that gold out of 10, that one stings.
Yeah, that hurt me.
Man.
Yeah.
The refund's great. Obviously, it's fine, but it just to have it completely go missing, a card out of 10. I mean, that's a card out of 10 that either somebody stole and owns, or it got chewed up and it's gone forever. Like I never had that the first, like when COVID hit, my first 2 years of buying Tebow and Fleury and other cards from Canada, never had any problems. So I'm pretty sad about that, but I was just curious if it's something like I need to change my expectations. Like, okay, a month to get cards. And so now I'm being very careful. Like, all right, when MVP comes out, I'm going to hopefully wait until, the superscript out of 25 or colors and contours is from America, not from Canada. So it's like a reputable seller, and then they always make it. So yeah, thankfully the high gloss was an American seller. I was quite happy to pay extra knowing it was coming through the States only. So, Well, I'd have to be interested if I send something Kelvin's way just to him, like with stamps or something, just to test it out. I'd be curious to see like how long it takes to get to you. But, gotcha. Cool. Well, that was fun, guys. I enjoyed the rapid fire. It's always fun to do the off the cuff. That was cool. Well, cool. We've got MVP coming out on the 8th or 9th or something like that, I believe. So I don't know if we've got any the checklist is out, but I don't know if we've got the Upper Deck pictures up yet. I might have to go check and see, because they always post within like a day of getting the checklist out. You see pictures and stuff up. Clear Cut came out. Was Marty in Clear Cut at all, Kelvin?
No. Okay, but some of those cards were really nice.
Yeah.
What's that rookie set? Yeah, that kind of looks like Flair Showcase. What's that one called?
There's Twisted something. I keep getting the name.
Twisted Tencel, I think, is what that one's called.
Yeah, that one's nice. NHL Memoirs, shiny. Love
it. The might be the Memoirs, because they have like the double picture. It looks very showcasey. Yeah. Tim, are there any? Because I know it's an old checklist. It's last year's rookie class. Are there any?
One. I've been looking at some Norris stuff. I've gotten a little bit of a Norris bug, Josh Norris, just out of curiosity. But is there anything that I'm going to be looking to pick up from that set or year? Not so much. But I do admire them from afar, though. There's some nice cards in there.
Oh, this is awesome. Glad we can entertain you. It's always nice having you here because you're very active in the chat. So it's always fun. Definitely, man. Hope you feel better. And hit us up on Instagram, man. We'd love to chat with you. I think we were talking about bringing him in here on an episode. I think we should do that. He'd be fun.
Sure.
Yeah. I talked to him a few times. Very nice.
Is he? Okay, he is on there. And then this guy, we should maybe bring back on the episode at some point, but if he's lucky, right?
He sounds familiar,
right?
Yeah.
Have any of you guys looked at the MVP checklist at all? I know it's a low end release, but it is fun. Have you guys had a chance to peek at it?
No, just my scroll, but it was just the usual, colors, contours. Obviously, that's cool. But none of my Birder will never make it in. So
did you look to see if he made it or not?
Yeah, no, he'll. I think they only do active players for MVP.
Okay, yeah, I was a little curious about that. Because
this is 2022-2023 MVP, right?
It's the first 2020 or 22-23 release. Yep.
Oh,
sure is.
Right. So I'm just curious to see who the rookies are.
Oh, the carryovers.
Holdover. Yeah.
Well, I know the Boldy is the big draw with that.
True. Yeah.
Let's see. MVP. Do they have a release date for it? Is it set? I'm just going to take a peek here before we. Yep, it's coming out on the 8th, so we get it in 4 more days. That's Thursday, right? Boldy's the big draw there, and then you've got the slew of regular stuff in here.
Power. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, he played a couple games at the end of the season.
I heard this guy's pretty good.
Oh, the bring back. That's my favorite MVP design.
That's the anniversary. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. Maybe I'll pick up something.
Yeah. And then obviously this is the purples. These are really nice, but I am excited. The chase card, every release that Fleury's in, I have a chase card. My chase card is the green color and contour out of 20. He's in the wild uniform. They're green. Like, come on, dude. That card's going to be sick.
Ooh, yes.
Woo, that card's going to be sick. And they obviously do the other inserts. Fleury didn't make it. Like, this kind of stuff just makes me laugh, but it's cool though. Something
That's cool.
different.
What is that?
Yeah.
Encounter.
Yeah, they get and then stuff like this. I mean, I like seeing them, like we talked about, Kelvin, with the SP Authentic and Upper Deck, those cheaper 1 out of 12 pack inserts. Like, I like seeing them do stuff like that still.
Yeah.
Where you can get some cool looking inserts for cheap, especially watching kids open this on YouTube. I quite enjoy that. So cool. Well, yeah, this comes out on Thursday. So good luck to anybody that opens this up. I think Fleury's got like 3 cards. Chasey's got the anniversary, the base, and then the colors and contours. So I will definitely.
Which is, do you think that they'll be having like the draft pick? You know how they have the draft pick redemption?
They're in there. Yeah.
They'll always be in there. Yeah.
So are we talking about Bedard in there? Like, we can get a potential Bedard for the following year from that, or no?
That's embarrassing. Sorry. I don't remember, dude. Are you called the same?
Oh, no.
Is he the same name on Instagram? He's got to be, right?
Yeah, same name.
Oh, geez.
He has an underscore in between.
I need to get more sleep. I need to get more sleep, man. I'm day off, and I was up at 6 a.m. like I normally am, getting ready for teaching. I'm like, I should be ready. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they always do those, and but I will say this too. It's like they thin those out so much. They stopped doing the gold script out of 100, and they stopped doing like the anniversary gold out of 100 as well. It was like 3-star or something before. So yeah, it's those chase cards are really hard to find on the open market. So EPAC definitely helps, but I think I had to wait till EPAC to get the Fleury superscript. It took that long to find one. And I hit up some dude on EPAC. I'm like, hey, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll sell it to you. Here you go, whatever. So
wait, you got a response on EPAC?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get none of those. I found 2 jersey numbered cider on EPAC. I sent multiple trades with like the comments in them. I sent messages, but just even outside of those 2, I never get messages back on EPAC.
Really?
I just have bad luck.
I've thankfully have had good luck, but I think it's because I'm not going for like the super top tier cards.
True.
I'm not going for the cards that the majority of people are probably messaging about. So they're just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to say anything. So yeah, but I think it doesn't hurt to give it a shot. See what you can do. Cool. Well, look forward to seeing you guys next week, and hopefully we get another person or two. And I need to go check my Instagram DMs right now, I think, and figure out what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, but you guys have a great night. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll catch you. Maybe at the end of this week, if not next week. See ya.
All right. See you guys.
Yep. Thanks, fellas.